everybody to RFL First Take. I'm joined here today by Dr. Doom and D-Main LaFleur, and we finna get this thing started. First one of the things to talk about is the free trade agreement. I want to know what impact do you think the free trade agreement is really gonna have on the league this year?
Doom, floor is yours.
I feel like the free trade agreement. I think it was one of those things to where the all of the admin felt as if this was the right thing to do, the right move to make. I feel like we've been in the league for, these guys have been in the league for going on 6-7 years.
Yeah, 6-7 years.
And they know each other, and the camaraderie is there. Everybody's together. Everybody know each other. Everybody know how each other plays, and everybody's familiar with what other guys like to do. And I just feel like it was the right move for the admin team. And the impact I think it'll have on the league is that, I believe guys are, first and foremost, they'll be more conscious of their salary, the money that they have to spend, that they have, the cap penalties. And I think guys will make smarter moves. It's been sort of hectic this first few days, but I think that'll sort of taper off as, once we get into the season. But there has been a lot of moves right now, and we are going to discuss those here going forward.
Yeah, what you think about that, D-Man?
Personally, man, I think it's what we needed. Something that I probably have been the biggest advocate for. I feel like we have responsible traders. The fact that we can trade David Stern, like if something dumb comes like Russell Aguilar strip, that we can veto that, and I think that gives players the power to actually be confident in their trades, make more trades, which we've already seen an uptick in actual complete trades by not just myself. So I just think it just rounds out the league to be more competitive, more people wanting to make them to be better. Whereas some people were scared to make trades, they were scared of it.
Yeah, I think that the trade thing's really gonna change the game. I mean, at this point, we're just waiting for people to really mess up their cap. So I mean, that's gonna be the funniest part. So if anybody or if that even happens, like, what's the next move from there? Do I replace the user, or do I just let them deal with it? And that's part of the reason that I was hesitant about doing like the free trade agreement. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think as of right now, we have a coach firing on, so I feel like, if those owners mismanage their team, at the end of the season, they'll get a notification, and I believe they'll have another season to wipe the slate clean, and then after that, they'll go ahead and the Madden gods will go ahead and boot them off of the team, and then, hey, we'll have to replace them, unfortunately.
Hey, some people gotta get the shoes, All right. So along with that, though, what are some of the biggest trades? I don't know. What do you think are the biggest trades that happened so far this year?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Aaron Donald was traded to Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
All right. So in that trade, we had Keanu Neal, Alex Mack, Devontae Campbell, Isaiah Oliver, and 2 first picks for Johnson III, Akeem Talib, Aaron Donald, and Dante Fowler Jr. Obviously, anytime somebody the caliber of Aaron Donald is moved, it's going to be headline news in the league. Me personally, I know that's the biggest trade because of names. But as far as the trade I was most impressed by, most impressed by, I was really impressed by the 49ers with the Chargers. The ability to pull in a talent like a Desmond King and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen.
That trade really impressed me, especially since all it really cost was a rookie, a pick, and Richard Sherman. And Desmond King is nothing but a younger version, slightly shorter, don't get me wrong, of Richard Sherman. And I've played with Desmond King in this game, and Desmond King is literally shut down. So to me, that's the biggest heist so far.
Ooh, heist! I like that.
And that's the biggest heist. That and the Alvin Kamara trade doesn't make sense to me either. But what you think?
I mean, I think that one of the huge trades, guys will look at teams like Atlanta. They'll look at teams like the San Francisco 49ers, what they did in the offseason. I'm looking here at the New Orleans Saints. They traded Cameron Jordan to the Broncos for Chris Harris Jr. They also traded Eli Apple to the Bills, which is a much smaller deal. But we want to keep our eyes on the trade that the Saints did with the Oakland Raiders. They traded Ryan Ramczyk and Terron Armstead along with Alvin Kamara for who's that? Antonio Brown, Gabe Jackson, and Colton Miller. I mean, that's just one of those trades. Also Josh Jacobs. They also traded Josh Jacobs. That's just one of those trades. It's a head scratcher for the New Orleans Saints. I think it's more of a big deal for the Oakland Raiders. They bolstered the offensive line over there. Yeah, they lose AB, but it's just one of those things where it's just
losing AB, just weird. Kamara.
Right, exactly. So guy that can catch pass out the backfield, guy that can make explosive runs out of the backfield with a great offensive line that they have assembled. I just don't know. And the Saints trading Cameron Jordan.
That's their only pass rusher. It doesn't I get it. You get secondary, but the reason you need a great secondary is when you don't have a pass rush. And if you trade your pass rush, that's why you don't have a pass rush. So you're hurting your corners there. And honestly, with the moves the Falcons made versus what the Saints made, it really is really making the Saints look bad. Because you got Grady Jarrett, Takaris McKinley, and you have Dante Fowler surrounding Aaron Donald, rushing the passer at all times, and you peel back your one thing that would stop them from rushing so hard, which is Alvin Kamara. When you got somebody like Alvin Kamara, you got to drop somebody in the flats off your defensive line, or got to have a linebacker that's consistently watching them. Without that threat there and a weaker offensive line, I don't know if I like the move for the Saints.
And another thing that makes it a head scratcher is that the Saints in the same division as the Falcons, and one of the two key, they traded two key offensive linemen away from them. And this is after, this was hours after the Aaron Donald trade to Atlanta. Aaron Donald is also, we talk about Aaron Donald, but they also have Grady Jarrett. They also have Takaris McKinley. They also have Deion Jones. They also received Dante Fowler. So I just think it's one of those moves going to.
The Falcons traded away Alex Mack, and so the offensive line is weaker. But then you trade Cameron Jordan, so now you don't have an X factor up front to break through.
So take advantage of the offensive line.
Exactly.
I don't know what Coach Mike Britton got brewing down there, but maybe maybe we don't know what we're talking about.
Hey,
we shall see.
We'll see. It is going to be hard to stop Michael Thomas and Antonio Brown. You can't sneeze at that.
Definitely. So the next big topic right now is going to be the tournament. I want to know, do you guys really think the tournament, or does the tournament really have weight within the league? Do you think the results of the tournament did anything to increase someone's odds at winning the Super Bowl in the league?
Increasing odds?
Maybe not odds. Maybe I said that wrong. I'm saying as far as increase their potential. Do you respect a different user more? So we had Taylor Peru. He's new to the league. Do you think that is he making noise this year?
I feel like in the games that he won, users just did dumb things. I saw he played the Bills, and he lateraled the interception back. Made no sense. And from there, the rest of the momentum, Taylor recovered the fumble, as any team should, and capitalized and scored because they were within the red zone with that recovery. So I just feel like even the game versus the Giants, I believe was his championship game. he took advantage of things. It wasn't dominating performances. It wasn't anything groundbreaking that I saw, or anything where the games were classic, or like ugly games. Offense can't move on one side, and then the other side just makes mistakes. I saw a lot of gaps, a lot of holes there. But he has the Vikings in the league, which could make up for some of the bad teams that he played with. So I can't tell, especially in that tournament that he won, where everybody was playing with bad teams in the end. I can't tell if it's his skill set or whether that team was just so bad he couldn't make up for that gap, which was a lot of people in a lot of cases. So his is a question mark. I think the other two winners tournaments.
Oh yeah. Coach LaFleur and Coach Griffin.
Yeah, I think those two are pretty concrete and
consistent
what they're doing
within our top 10 for sure.
Right.
I think that it's not really a telltale sign of who's going to do what during the season. It's one of those things. I believe that the tournament was, guys can get in and try out a couple different teams. You couldn't use the same team going throughout the tournament. Guys were trying different playbooks. People were just, the game that just came out, a week or two prior to the tournaments. Everybody's getting the feel of the new mechanics and things like that. I think that once you get into a league setting, players are a little bit more locked in and they're a little more focused. They don't have a lot of the distractions as, looking at the time, certain times that we played, it was a lot earlier rather than later. So I don't think that the tournament is the big picture as far as how the season is going to turn out, or who's going to win a Super Bowl or what have you. However, Coach D-Main is looking a little like one of those guys that I would probably choose as my favorite going into the season. But we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But that's my take.
Okay. So I was leading that right into the power rankings. So we were talking about people rising up the ranks and maybe showing off their potential in the tournament. And I just want us to look at these power rankings and give me your thoughts on the power rankings so far. I mean, it's a little shaky from maybe 15 on back, but at least the top 15, we can talk about those.
All right. Notes here. We got the top 15. So top 15, I'm just going to run them down 15-1. We got Texans, Rams, Seahawks, Panthers, Jaguars, Raiders, Eagles, Bears, Chargers, Saints, Vikings, Niners, Chiefs, Falcons, Browns.
Oh man, that's Coach Griffin right there. So I mean, I see we got Coach Griffin at the top. So we had matter of fact, we have Coach Griffin and Coach D-Main right at the top of the list. Both of them were tournament winners. We were talking about that earlier, that they were showing they're basically concrete at the top. So who do you think is going to fall off of this list?
I mean, inside that top 10, Raiders, Eagles, Bears, Chargers, Saints, Vikings, Niners, Chiefs, Falcons, Browns. The biggest question mark is the one with the most controversial trades. It would be the Saints and Coach Britton, or Coach Chips Ahoy as he joined the league.
Coach Chips Ahoy.
Yeah. I got to see how it pans out. I know he wants to be pass heavy. Probably going to have AB in the slot if he's smart. I'd keep AB right next to Michael Thomas at all times. Stress out of defense. But to me, they're the biggest question mark. I also don't really like all of the moves the Chargers made.
A lot of little moves, but sort of
a lot of little moves, but a lot of head scratchers.
Yeah, a lot of head scratchers.
The trade with the Ravens I'm looking at right now. He traded for Jimmy Smith.
Oh man.
He traded for Jimmy Smith in a 5th. He traded a 3rd round pick, Kaiser White and Nazir Adderley, 2 great young talents. And I have inside information from the Ravens camp that they were willing to give away Jimmy Smith for just a 3rd. And they were able to get 2 young assets and a 3rd for Jimmy Smith. Wow. And by only giving up a 5th. So to me, that also is one of the greater heists on a smaller scale, because Jimmy Smith isn't that great, and the young pieces aren't, grand. But to get that much for 31-year-old Jimmy Smith, he doesn't have a trait that's going to keep him around longer. So he's really only on a 1-year deal, maybe 2. That just seemed like a lot to give up. Adderley, who I've seen mature in other leagues and become great. Kaiser White is a great linebacker, especially in pass rushing situations. That one, I just felt like he overpaid. He was outbidding himself.
Yeah, we even, the commissioners and the admin or whatever, they vetoed this. I think this was the first veto trade of the new trade agreement, and we had to rework that one. But I believe that they got it together. It's still a heist. Let me not say that, but
yeah.
But at least they got something out of the deal other than just self hurting themselves.
Yeah,
completely.
I know the Falcons and the Chiefs wanted. The Falcons and the Chiefs wanted Jimmy Smith, but I honestly think the Chargers were bidding against themselves. I don't think the Chiefs nor the Falcons were going to give up young pieces like Adderley or White. I feel like you probably could just did one of them and like a 4th and been perfectly fine.
Oh yeah.
But
any thoughts?
What you think, Doctor? Top 10.
I think that out of the top 10, I think that the team that I think that's going to slide, it might surprise you a bit. It's going to be number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs coach Brandon Smith. We have not seen him in action at all this year. I think that with the new mechanics of Madden 20, I don't know if he's that same Super Bowl winning coach. I know he's won multiple Super Bowl rings here in this league, but I just don't think he's, I don't know if he's Mr. Hitman as he used to be. I saw 2 desperate trade attempts with Tyreek Hill and Kendall Fuller, which leads me to believe that there's questions coming out of that locker room, about how can they be a good team? Can he be the coach to lead them to the promised land? Offensive line not great. I believe if he trade Kendall Fuller, that'll be a mistake. I just think he's one of those guys that may slide back into the bottom half of the 15, 16, 17, somewhere around in there. And the next team I'll say is the Raiders. Raiders coach, he won't pass the ball to save his life. He's gonna try to stay on the ground, try to run the ball. I don't think that's gonna win him any games. So I can see him sliding back into the lower to mid 20s. That's what I believe. Other than that, hey, everything looks sort of intact.
Okay. So I just want to know. This is just a question I've been thinking about, but like the AFC East is a toss-up right now. But who do y'all think is coming out of the AFC East?
I'm gonna tell you who I'm impressed by.
Okay.
Coach Spell.
Oh yeah, Coach Spell. Oh.
Was challenged. Challenged by somebody. Coach Spell, if you guys don't know, he serves in our great United States Army, and he was away while Madden launched. And his first real online game was a challenge game for his Jets, and he smacked the ever-living taste out of the Bengals' mouth. And to me, the Bengals are really rich in talent. Played with AJ Green, Dunlap, and Atkins, and all those boys. And and you have a 3-week head start on somebody, and you still lose. That tells me Coach Spell knows what he's doing with those Jets. I have heard rumors he's willing to move Jamal Adams for a big piece. You're not going to get him for light. Not going to get him for light. Not getting him for cheap. Just go ahead and putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't just walk up and be like, yeah, go ahead and write that down. You're not getting Jamal Adams for cheap. But I have heard rumors from other teams. I personally have inquired. Got shot down because I wouldn't trade Julio. All good. We'll trade Julio. But I do know it's out there.
Oh yeah.
I'll say Coach Spell as well. Ricky Teff. He said I thought that going into the tournament, just leading, come back to the tournament, I thought that he would give Taylor Peru a little bit of a better game, even though that doesn't tell that's not the real tell of the tape. But I just don't know if Ricky the mystery can get it done. I think he'll be his own challenger, and the Jets will take that division.
What do you think about the Bills? Bills have made good moves.
I think the Bills are. That's actually my dark horse in that division. I think the Bills with Coach Neff are probably the most talented most talented coach inside of that division. I mean, Spell's nice. Coach Spell's nice, but I think that the Bills and that defense are going to take that division by storm.
Well, I
can
think
agree.
The Bills, the Bills is a good coach. However, anytime he has a game, he has an entourage sitting there with him. And I think that they'll distract him from any and everything.
From a couple of wins.
Remember this: he traded Ed Oliver. He traded Ed Oliver Jr. to the Browns.
He traded him for Greedy Williams, though. And he got a pick back.
I understand that. But what did we just talk about? We said a great pass rush is what?
He said great
Essential.
pass coverage.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Exactly. So I think that him making that move, I think taking that out of the equation, I think that hurts him as a football team going forward.
I feel like if you have a great secondary, then you don't need that good of a pass rush. But if you have a good pass rush, you don't need that great of a secondary. So I feel like the Bills just took away some of their pass rush and increased that secondary. So now they're gonna be playing better defense, or at least through the air. They're gonna cover the pass a lot better. But time will tell, right?
Yeah. Only time.
That's right.
Anyways, guys, that just about wraps it up. This is our first edition of RFL First Take. Tell me what you guys think, and we'll catch y'all later. We out.